Hello and welcome to the Business Standard Morning Show. I am Ruchika Chitravanshi. It is 23rd of August 2023 and here are the questions we will be answering for you today. Is the coaching industry crippling India's young minds? Has the family dispute affected Murugappa Group? As bond yields rise, what should be your debt market strategy? And what do terms like solutionism and woke mean? Yet another student died by suicide in Rajasthan's Kota last week, taking the total number of youngsters who took their lives in the IIT coaching hub to 20 this year. The state government has ordered a detailed inquiry and the city's civic body has told hostels to install anti-suicide devices on ceiling fans. But what is driving students to take such an extreme step? Is it the coaching industry or our education system? Abhijit Kumar and Kasturi Akhil find out.
Kota, a nondescript Rajasthan town close to the Madhya Pradesh border, came into prominence in 1986 when a local boy, Sanjeev Arora, topped the IIT entrance exam. The foundation of his success was laid about 6 years ago when V.K. Bansal, an engineer at a J.K. Synthetics factory, took to teaching maths and opened a coaching institute for local students. It is claimed that Bansal had then laid the foundation of the now sprawling coaching industry of Kota. Sanjeev was one of his students. There was no turning back. Kota was now a coaching industry which sends scores of students to prestigious engineering and medical colleges every year. But it has also become synonymous with suicides of students. This year alone, at least 20 students have died by suicide in the city which is being called Stress Factory. And this month, at least 4 lives were cut short. In 2022, 15 students died by suicide in this coaching club. Worried by the spate of suicides, Kota authorities ordered hostels and PGs to install spring devices in ceiling fans to prevent students from taking the drastic measure. The state government also looks alarmed. News agency PTI reported that Ashok Gehlot government has set up a panel comprising educationist experts and representatives of stakeholders to carry out a detailed inquiry into the incidents. It has to submit a report in 15 days. Coaching institutes have become an integral part of our education system. Fierce competition, soaring aspirations, and limited seats in India's higher education institutions are driving an increasing number of parents to enroll their children in these institutes, which also charge huge sums. It's a ticket to a better life for many, but unfortunately, students are paying the price. According to the National Crime Records Bureau data, in 2021, more than 13,000 cases of suicides of students were registered across the country. Maharashtra topped the list with a maximum number of 1,834 cases, followed by 1,308 cases in Madhya Pradesh, 1,246 in Tamil Nadu, 855 in Karnataka, and 834 in Odisha. Rajasthan recorded 633 cases. A quick look at the level of competition may offer some insight. While the number of seats available across 23 IITs stands at 17,385, more than 17 lakh candidates appeared in both the January and April sessions of JEE main exam in 2023. As per the latest NMC data, 707 medical colleges offer 1,09,048 MBBS seats. However, over 20 lakh candidates registered for the NEET UG exam, of which less than 12 lakh qualified in 2023. Critics have argued that students often face immense pressure, long study hours, and psychological stress. Rote learning prevails over conceptual understanding, leading to a lack of critical thinking and creativity among students. A recent survey revealed that 4 out of 10 students in Kota struggle with mental health problems.
Coaching is actually encouraging rote learning and use of memory. Actually, the kids are not getting prepared for the future. Kids are not learning the actual qualities of problem solving. We are not instilling curiosity in them. We are not instilling teamwork, the things which creativity, for example, which are actually essential in the world we live in today, where ChatGPT, Google have all the answers in it.
Experts say that the coaching industry's explosive growth has exposed several systemic cracks. One major issue is the commodification of education, where education is treated as a business rather than a holistic learning process.
All education institutes need to have an approach which is beyond the only parameters of numbers. It brings education in its complete self and guides young people to the best that they can achieve. And that approach needs to be looked at.
Further, experts believe that the emphasis on a one-size-fits-all approach is detrimental to the learning process. Coaching centers tend to focus heavily on entrance exam syllabi, leaving limited room for a well-rounded education.
If you have 100 students in a classroom or in a batch, irrespective of the age, all are not going to perform at the same level. But that doesn't mean that if I am a student who did not crack through an exam, my life's not going to move forward. It's the job and role of my ecosystem, in this case, my institute, to tell me, hey, this didn't happen, but you have this skill set. This is also what you can pursue. Or it didn't happen because of this, fine-tune this, and then look at it. But during this process, take care of your well-being. And if you're struggling, I am there. The system is there. If schools can have robust counseling system, why not educational institutes and coaching institutes?
Families across the country, especially from the marginalized sections, view engineering and medical degrees as the only way to move up the economic ladder. They end up taking up huge debts as the fees of the coaching centers are really high. This puts more pressure on the students to succeed. So how can the problem of coaching industry be fixed?
There is a perception that if you go in a particular college, life is settled, because that is not true. Which college can you name, or which field or industry can you name which has a 100% success ratio? None, right? Which means even then you might have to go through some struggles and learn something. So what you would have been taught in your early years, school, coaching classes, and so on and so forth, will help you even in future.
Coaching industry has added value to many kids. But for a better future, we should not have a coaching industry. Our education system, that's the only way to solve the problem. Our education system needs to be all-inclusive, to be able to provide the kind of education for which kids are going outside of the classroom.
While the experts agree that the coaching industry has undoubtedly helped students achieve their dreams, it's imperative to address the broader issues that it has inevitably fostered. In light of the increasing cases of student suicides, experts suggest that it is time to do away with coaching institutes and instead overhaul the formal education system.
Family support can indeed work wonders for youngsters who are overburdened with expectations to excel. Talking of family, the over 2-year-old dispute between Murugappa family members came to an end recently. The group said that the families have reached an agreement to resolve the matter, though the details were not made public. So has this dispute cast a shadow on Murugappa Group? Tariq Ahmed brings you the answer.
Last Sunday, one of the oldest conglomerates of the country, the Murugappa Group, released a press statement indicating the end of its 5-year-long family dispute. The conglomerate was established in 1900 as a money lending and banking business in Burma. Currently, the Chennai-based Murugappa Group has around 30 subsidiaries, including 11 listed companies. These subsidiaries are spread across various business sectors like money lending, bicycle and component manufacturing, and agriculture. The dispute within Murugappa Group started in 2017 when former director M.V. Murugappa passed away. Following his demise, M.V. Murugappa's eldest daughter, Valli Arunachalam, along with her sister and mother, demanded either a board seat or equitable compensation for their 8.23% stake in Ambadi Investment Limited or AIL, the holding company of the group. By 2019, while Valli Arunachalam was seeking a board position, other family branches of the third generation were already represented on AIL's board. According to media reports, the patriarchal nature of Murugappa Group excluded women of the family from business roles. Notably, this was the first time that a Murugappa Group patriarch passed away without having a male heir to replace. Also, Valli Arunachalam's offer for dissolution of the family's stake in AIL would mean first ever exit of a family branch from the AIL board. According to Arunachalam, the current director and other family members have been delaying the process by not responding to her family's requests. Subsequently, she chose to escalate the matter to the National Company Law Tribunal or NCLT. In September last year, the National Company Law Appellate Tribunal or NCLAT dismissed AIL's appeal against NCLT's approval of Valli Arunachalam's petition. However, the recent press release suggests that the family reached an agreement to settle the matter in 90 days. But how the matter is going to be settled is not specified in the press statement.
So in my view, while the family may have been in the process of sorting out how the wealth would be distributed amongst themselves, they did not allow the economic performance of their entities to get affected. And to my mind, that is a hallmark of a great family, which while they may have outside the company framework debates and discussions about how to sort out family matters, they do not permit that discussion to influence or hurt what is happening in the business. And I think that happened perfectly in the Murugappa Group. In my view, what would have been the outcome of the business was the outcome of the business. I don't think it was affected by the dispute that was going on.
But had the dispute been affecting the business of the Murugappa Group?
You and I have only access to what is being the press release by the Murugappa Group, right? So to that extent, they have a defined time frame to which some action items need to be taken up by both the parties, after which the court cases also needs to be withdrawn. So to that extent, there seems to be an amicable settlement in that sense. Whether it includes partition of assets, that is not revealed in the press release itself. So to that extent, you and I are ignoramus. But definitely, it seems to be an amicable solution. It's a solution that, if it pans out as hoped, will definitely be cheerful for the group companies.
While M.V. Murugappa's daughters moved the NCLT because they were denied a board seat, it's not clear if the demand was also for partition of assets. Subramanian says a partition of assets could impact the shareholders and company operations. However, the group was not affected by the family dispute, considering that its total turnover increased by 49% in the past 2 years.
Murugappa Group stocks jumped up to 6% after the news on the settlement was made public. Meanwhile, yields on 10-year bonds surged to a multi-month high of 7.25% on August 17, rising nearly 150 basis points in 1 month. Globally, the 10-year US Treasury yields have jumped to a 17-month high. As inflation outlook remains bleak amid flaring vegetable prices, will the pain in the bond markets deepen? And how should investors invest in this market? Nikita Vashisht takes a deep dive in our next report.
Indian bond markets have been on a roller coaster ride for the last 1 month against the backdrop of vegetable prices pushing retail inflation to a 15-month high of 7.4% in July. Effectively, yields on 10-year government bonds in the money markets have risen 14.7 basis points over the past 1 month. It hit a multi-month high of 7.25% on August 17. Globally, yields on 10-year US Treasury bonds have hit 17-year high of 4.35% amid a strong labor market. This pain in the bond markets, analysts believe, may deepen in the near term.
I think the coming 3 to 6 months are going to be a little critical for the debt markets, because our expectations are the yield, especially the long-term yields, could move up slightly, moving towards from 7.15 to 7.20 band towards closer to around 7.5. Food inflation is at its peak. So that is one of the reasons why we may see a situation of a rate hike, and it could be a little kind of a surprise rate hike, which is a possibility.
Liquidity surplus has dried up to Rs 53,800 crore as of August 20 and Rs 2.6 trillion on August 10. Meanwhile, yields on short-term bonds may also harden in the near term as the RBI continues to withdraw liquidity from the system.
A short-term systemic liquidity is in deficit currently, which was in surplus closer to around last month. And that is one of the reasons why it will put a lot of pressure in the short-term yields. Our call on the CPI inflation, which is closer to around 6% in FY24, which is 60 basis higher than the RBI estimate of 5.4%. And this level could be revised further by RBI.
Against this, analysts suggest investors to bet on funds with residual maturity of 4 to 6 years in the near term. For the long term, short to medium term debt funds could be a preferred bet.
We expect the yields to soften by around 25 to 50 odd basis in the next 6 to 12 months. We advise clients to pick up short to medium term categories with tactical allocation to duration funds over the next 6 to 12 months.
Overall, investors are advised to use a combination of shorter and longer duration bond funds in the portfolio, as interest rates may remain higher for longer on the back of local inflation trends and global interest rates. On August 23, global trends and stock-specific moves will guide the markets.
He's making plans for an early retirement. Business Standard.
After the markets, let us talk about a lighter subject. English is a living language. Each year, Oxford, Cambridge and Macmillan get heavier due to additions of fresh words. But many words which may not make it to the official dictionaries have become a daily definer of political, economic and socio-cultural phenomena, practices and trends. Today, Debarghya Sanyal decodes for you 5 such key terms that have shaped our conversations lately.
In the current socio-political setup, corporate and political entities have repeatedly emphasized technological tools as a key to solving most problems. This belief that all difficulties have benign, mostly technocratic solutions is called solutionism. A recent example comes from Rajasthan, where amid the rising student suicides in Kota, the district administration has asked all hostels and paying guest accommodations to install spring-loaded fans in all rooms. Here again, essentially technological solutions have been proposed to counter a larger socio-cultural issue. In the landscape of political debates, certain terms and tactics emerge that capture the essence of a particular strategy. One such term is whataboutery. It is a technique of responding to accusations or difficult questions by deflecting attention through counter-accusations or by raising unrelated issues. Recently, Prime Minister Narendra Modi was accused of whataboutery by the opposition when he claimed that the Congress government had carried out attacks on innocent people people of Mizoram in 1956. The Prime Minister was responding to the opposition's allegation that the centre had chosen inaction in response to violence in Manipur. Another rhetoric tactic gaining rapid notoriety is sea-lining. Sea-lining is a harassment tactic by which a participant in a debate or online discussion pesters the other participant with disingenuous questions under the guise of sincerity, hoping to erode the patience or goodwill of the target to the point where they appear unreasonable. Often sea-lining involved asking for evidence for even basic claims. Then there is gaslighting, the subjective experience in which an individual's perception of reality is repeatedly undermined or questioned by another person. This term, derived from the 1944 American film Gaslight, entered colloquial English usage in the mid-2010s. The film is about a seemingly genteel husband who manipulates and isolates his high-risk wife and persuade her that she is mentally unwell so that he can steal from her. In a 2022 Washington Post report, it was described as a trendy buzzword frequently used to describe ordinary disagreements rather than those situations that align with the word's historical definition. Finally, a phrase most of us must have used or heard: woke. Woke is an adjective derived from African American vernacular English meaning alert to racial prejudice and discrimination. Beginning in the 2010s, it came to encompass a broader awareness of social inequalities such as sexism. By 2020, many on the political right and some in the ideological center in several Western countries began sarcastically using the term as a pejorative for various leftist and progressive movements and ideologies they perceived as overzealous, performative, or insincere. In turn, some commentators came to consider woke an offensive term that disparages persons who promote progressive ideas involving identity and race.
I'm backed by the nation's trusted bank, SBI, the banker to every Indian.
Meanwhile, the Supreme Court has come out with a handbook red flagging 40 words including ladylike and dutiful wife. They will no longer find mention in court orders. Well, that's all we have for you today. For more news and analysis, please log on to business-standard.com. Thank you for watching.
If you like this video, share it and subscribe to Business Standard. For more news, views and insights, log on to www.business-standard.com. Do also follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Telegram and LinkedIn.